inspiration. Tell me who
Okay. Tell me who will it be you? I'd like to thank you all for gracing us with your presence. And this is going to be a great interview because I'm just looking forward to it. I like some deep responses, and we're going to start off with none other than Mr. Michael Jones, a man I have known for years. Michael, this isn't your first time being on the rise, is it?
No, I've been on many years ago. How you doing again?
I'm doing well. We're going to change the format here so we can get the people that's speaking out front here. Okay, so you're on board here. Tell us a little bit about the journey.
Okay, well, I've been writing and producing gospel stage plays that have toured the Southeast. I started way back when I wrote my book, $1 at a Time, which is about economic empowerment in the Black community. I published my book in 2000 and did a book tour from 2000 to 2001. And someone came up to me and said, you know what? I like your book, but have you ever thought about writing a play? Because Black folks don't read. Oh, I didn't want to hear that. But I took them up on it, took the challenge, and I wrote my first stage play based on the book, $1 at a Time. And it turned into Never Again, which was a stage play that I came to Augusta, Georgia, and performed and sold out my very first show, where a grandmother explains the mental conditioning of slavery to her grandson. And you actually see what she's talking about, the scenes from slavery, the Negro Baseball League, Vietnam, all the way up to kids walking around the pants down. So it's a timeline of history, and we toured from 2002 to 2004 in many Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama cities. And then I wrote 40 Acres, Who Stole the Mule, which was a stage play based on a family finally getting 40 acres and a mule, and they're fighting over the mule. Everyone's trying to sell it, steal it, and you see how material things can break up a family, and the grandmother's trying to keep her family together. And that play toured from 2006 to 2009, many cities in the Southeast. And then I wrote my third play called When God Calls, Will You Answer?, which is based on finding your calling in life. And I heard some of those sentiments from you earlier. And that play, we toured from 2011 into 2018. I put together a 10-city tour starting May of 2020. And you know what happened in 2020? Mm-hmm. Everything kind of went different. So I decided, since now we're in a Black History Me Too movement in America, a lot of racial injustice is going on. I decided to bring Never Again back as an online streaming movie. So we are about to launch Never Again as an online streaming movie, Juneteenth of this year, which culminates into a 20th year anniversary of Never Again, which started in 2002 and will pick up again in 2022 for the world. We've got streaming platforms, and and I've got my actors here. I love them to death. I can't do anything without them. So that's been my 20-year journey.
Okay.
Amen.
Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. I'm going to bring you back here, but I have a question of the cast. Who has known Michael the longest? Raise your hand, because you all don't have name there. So who's known him the longest? Okay. All right. You're going to introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Timothy Gilmore Jr., and I'm from North Augusta / Augusta, the CSRA, basically. And I've known Mike, I'm thinking, for the longest. I started with some of his other stage plays, When God Calls, Will You Answer? I toured with him there. It was crazy how I met Mike, actually. I met Mike. He was passing out his DVDs. And you know me, I'm outgoing. I was just like, hey, you know, I'm an actor. You know, I can sing too. You know, can I join you or whatnot? I did some plays with JoJo Williams and you know Mike Warren, some other people, and turned around and that turned into now we in a movie. Went from stage play to practices to our first movie, and it's inspirational, man, to see where one decision or one step can lead you to a whole new path and whole new endless possibilities, you know.
All right. I like that. I don't know if my sister had a hand up or not, but I'm going to let her introduce herself and if she had something that she was going to say. Your volume. Cut your mic on.
Unmute.
You're muted.
Hold on. I muted you. Okay. Try it now.
You can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. But no, I didn't have my hand up. I was just listening.
Okay.
But I've known Michael since about, I think it was around 2013. And he was getting ready to do the stage play When God Calls, Will You Answer? I was just attending. He invited me to attend a few of the rehearsal sessions, and I ended up being part of the cast, which was just amazing to me. It's something that I had always wanted to do, and he gave me the opportunity, and I've been with him since 2013, and it's been amazing. And to be starring in one of his first movies, I can't even tell you how amazing that is. Like, I can't wait to see it because I know it's going to just be an awesome movie.
I like that. I like that. Well said, my sister.
Would you tell us your name? She didn't mention her name.
Yeah,
Okay, hold on a second,
I
Lady
did,
Antoinette.
but the mic was messing up, so I'm sorry about that. But I'm Angela Kirks. Nice
Okay.
to meet you guys.
All
And
right.
thanks for having us on.
Give us that name again, please.
Angela Kirks.
Okay, Angela.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Angela. Okay, I was about to bring Brother Mike back up here.
Okay. Well, yes, and one actor that's not with us on today is Martin Taylor. He actually did the stage play in 2002, and he's with us now. So you got so many actors that have been with us, and it's a journey. I love it.
You know, I love what she said. She said your first play. She has a lot of confidence in you.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I like that. You know, that was why I wanted to pull them in, just so you know that, because I tell my wife all the time, don't tell people, let people tell you. And to hear them speak their way of you, that says a lot there. But I did want to ask you, as far as where you are now, where are you at? Are you at a plateau? You still hungry? How would you describe where you are now?
Well, the opportunities are coming, and there's so much I want to do. And it's all about putting out a message that incites, encourages, uplifts, and deals with the African American community. And COVID gave me an opportunity to go online because, like I said, I've been doing stage plays for 20 years. Now I have an opportunity to reach a larger market by going online. And this movie is coming out. I'm going to redo 40 Acres Who Stole the Mule as an online streaming movie. Then When God Calls Answer, I'm going to recast that as an online movie. And then the next one is There's a Blessing in Your Pressing that's going to be online. And I've got so many things. I'm also an architect and I have a real estate degree. So I put it out there that I want to create a film studio in Augusta. So we don't have to go to Atlanta to film. We can do it right here. And so much talent is in this city. So that's what I'm looking at doing. I've written a book. I've got a couple more books I'm putting out. I'm also a publisher. So I'm working with some other people to help put their books out. Um, so many things that I want to do. And this is a wonderful opportunity to be in this industry at this time.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna come back to you in a moment. I'm gonna do something here real interesting. I think this is the brother that's known you for the longest.
Yes.
What's the one word you would use to describe Mike?
The one word? Let
One
me
word.
see. He's a perseverer. I'll give him that. Motivator. You said one word though. Hold on, I can think of so many. It's hard to choose the best one. Mentor? I don't know.
Okay.
Entrepreneur, jack of all trades.
All right.
Amazing.
That you said my word. I'm gonna share something with you. I don't know if Mike told y'all this or not. Okay. When I met Mike, Mike was doing his book as he stated. He had a great published book. But Michael, when he came down to that $1, that brother used to put his books together. Am I right, Mike?
I still do.
And I admired him so much, and that was the word that I had in my entrepreneur. And you all are in the right place. When a person actually begins to make their launch, they can't do it alone. So all of you all are in the right place. And Mike, I want to commend you. Everyone that I've heard so far speaks very highly of you. But I wanted to, one or two persons, is the grandmother on here?
Yes. Yeah.
Raise your hand, grandmother. All right.
Marlisa.
I want to hear from the grandmother.
How you doing? I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm good.
I probably figured you was the grandmother because you were the first person here.
And then I signed out and I came back.
Right. No problem. No problem. But as far as your role, and because as I hear the little brief description concerning the play, it's like families. They aren't. Grandmother determines the tone. Grandmother determines the character. So tell me about your character.
Well, my character is, I'm the grandmother, and she plays a very strong role because she's having to raise her grandson, which is 12 years old, and his parents has passed away. So she's having to teach him about the slavery days and then get him to understand what the slaves were being put through back then and what we allow ourselves to be put through now. And it just takes us through the Black Lives movements and from the light-skinned, dark-skinned slaves in the fields or in the houses, and trying to get that across to a 12-year-old boy that has never seen that kind of stuff. It gets kind of trying because you got to keep their attention and keep trying to motivate them into doing better than the slaves and stuff had to, from what they had to go through then. Yes. So
how do you feel you did in that role?
Well, I'm kind of used to playing an older person role. I've done an older lady on stage named Sister Alexander in a play called Monopoly Street. So I fed into the role as best as I could know how, because that's my first time ever being on a film. So, but with the encouragement of the cast and Mike encouraging us and pushing me to do, and learn the verbiage, because I had to kind of switch up just a little bit, but not too much. And I felt like I was very comfortable in the role. Yeah.
Let me ask you this question. Now that you've done it and you reflect on it, are there some things that you feel you'd put more into now that you've kind of done that part?
Yes, because I've learned a lot throughout the movie. See, a lot of the stuff that I had to study and learn, I didn't actually know at first. So now with me knowing it, I can express it a little bit stronger. Yeah.
And I asked you that question because, as you noticed, we had an Emmy moment, educating, motivating, and inspiring. And if we aren't learning, then we're in the wrong place. I love your answer.
That's right.
I love that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, y'all mentioned light
Thank you.
skin, dark skin.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that goes, but obviously this young lady here had something to do with that. She appears to be. So tell me your role in this movie.
My role in this movie is I'm a secretary. It's like a secretarial. How you say it? It's like a in charge role. And I have two assistants there that I kind of went to the bat for to reassure that they would keep their jobs, and then coming to find out they've been whispering things about me, like little jealous comments, stuff like that. So I learned that they wasn't as loyal as I thought they were, and I let them know how I felt about that. And then I had a little role as Malcolm X's wife. When Malcolm is on stage and gets murdered on stage, I have that scene as his wife where I run up on stage and crying and stuff because he's been shot up. So I didn't have the light skin, dark skin scene, but
Yeah. But there's another character, Angel, that has it.
right, yes.
Okay, so Angel isn't with us, I take it.
Yeah, she's at the bottom. Yeah, Angel.
Okay, then. Angel, I apologize. My screen is kind of dark, but I couldn't miss my sister there. So, all right. But thank you so very much. And I'm sure, and Michael, I'm really seeing this come together because as I hear them describe their roles, that makes a big difference. And I love what my sister's saying. And it sounds so real. The Bible tells us we must have hearsay to prove what is true. So, I personally can't wait to see how these little fragments we're getting come together. And so let's go to our sister.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello. So, do I talk about the light skin, dark skin matter?
Right. Talk to us.
Well, one scene that was really prominent was which I also didn't know about, which I should have known about, but the brown paper bag scene where I was walking in with my husband and we were trying to get into the club, and he pulls out a brown paper bag to my husband and he's like, "You can't get in, you're too dark." So that was like a really important scene because I feel like is something that goes under the radar with like things that we learn about in school. Because I'm still in school right now, but that's like things that we don't get taught about. And there's a lot of scenes like that are informational that kids my age won't even know about until they watch his movie. Because he writes about a lot of things that aren't talked about in school at all.
Okay, I like that. So those things that you're learning. So you was learning as you were filming, I take it.
Oh, definitely. Not only is he a director, but he's an educator. He really did teach us a lot.
Well, that's that. Boy, did Mike pay you all? Did y'all get the incentive for this? I tell you. Well, right, thank you. We'll probably come back to you. You've been up here, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay, now the person that played the young person that you were mentoring, that you were speaking to, How did that person do in their role?
Jonathan. Oh, he was good. Jonathan did wonderful. He did very good, and that's what he memorized everything way before I got it together. But yes, Jonathan was awesome. I really had to give thumbs up to him.
Okay, is Jonathan here tonight?
No, he couldn't make it. He's playing football.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I was definitely hoping that Jonathan was here because I wanted to see what did he get from what he had done with you all. Okay. You're up next, sir. What role did you have?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
My name is Varian Hunter. I reside here in Augusta, Georgia. I had several roles in this movie, but one role, one character that stuck with me and I can relate to is Jacob. Jacob was a slave, but in his heart he was a Mandingo warrior, and he wasn't going for being a slave. So he fought and he fought and he fought against all the rules. And he stood on his principles. And he stood on being a Mandingo warrior. And whatever it took, he was going to not abide to what they have to say. And he was true, to being that Mandingo warrior, and wasn't going to let those slaves take that from him.
Okay. All right. Now you just introduced something that brings Brother Michael back up on stage. Now let's talk about movie versus reality, Brother Michael. How many people have you ever heard say, "I couldn't be a slave"? In other words, their mindset was such that Mandingo warrior he just described.
Yeah, I hear it a lot now. But when we were filming the slave scenes out on the plantation, knowing that we had to get in the character, and we were out there picking cotton and filming, and I was cut, do it again, cut, do it again, cut, and it was hot. It was really hot. But we had a trailer out there with a generator, with air conditioning. We had food. We had other things. We knew we can take a break anytime and go get something to drink if we needed to. But it was so different in 1700s and 1800s. Mm-hmm. The reality is they could not take a break. They could not. I mean, if they had to use a bathroom, they had to still keep picking and use it where they stand. It was so different in those days. And if they were born in the 1700s, they never even knew freedom. Freedom didn't come until the 1800s, 1900s. So their whole life was dealing with the reality of what it was like being a slave. And the reality is that you get up, you pick cotton, you do what the master says do, and then you go to sleep. Late at night, you get up again, and every single day it's like that. You work, and you don't get paid, you don't get anything. So getting in the mind frame of what the slaves had to endure is something so alien for now, because now we know that we can always petition. I want some water. I want to use the bathroom. I want to do that. But we had some times out there. Even I fell out once. It was hot, and my knees buckled, and everybody's like, cut, we need to go. We need to pack up. I'm like, what? I just didn't eat. I was a little hot. And I mean, yeah, and they were all freaking out. We had a couple of actors that were falling and, ready, I need to take a break. So reality hit about how hot it was in Georgia on a plantation in the middle of February. We did April and May, how hot it was. So it was different. But now people say I couldn't be a slave. If I was a slave, I'd run away. I'd fight back. No, you wouldn't. You would be a dead slave. I mean, the reality of it is that you were conditioned that life to be in that lifestyle. And it was so sad that some women they got pregnant by the master or whoever, they would choose to kill their baby rather than their baby being brought up in the environment of slavery and being sold. So that mindset of what it would take to kill your own child, so your child wouldn't be brought up in the environment that you knew that never ended, because it didn't end in your whole life, from you being a slave to your father being a slave in the 1700s. There was no ending in sight for no one unless you can run up to the north, or make it to the Underground Railroad, or run into the woods. And they had the fugitive slave law, which said that if you were in a free state, we can go get you and bring you back to slavery. So it was so different. And now with the freedoms that we do have, we just don't, many of us don't exercise the freedoms. We don't vote. We don't do some of the things that we could do to make it better and pass on our history to our children, so our children know who they were. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like that. I like that. Where's Grandma at again? Grandma, raise your hand.
Here I am.
Okay. Okay. Well, Grandma, from what I understand, they did the acting and you did the narrating.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Right.
So when you
Yes.
was telling the young man about the slave portion before they got to that movie, what was your what did you communicate?
I'm not really understanding what you're asking me.
I know you're not doing the whole scene, but there was something that you would have said that they would have acted out. What was it? If you had to speak to that group that we just talked about now, and this may be off role, out of character, but as he just stated, you know, there are people today that have the mindset, ain't no way I could be a slave or whatever. Based on your role and whatever you had to prepare yourself for with it, what would you say to them?
Well, like I said to my grandson in the movie, I told them that they didn't have the things that they have now. See, they have all these guns and everything now. See, those slaves didn't have that. So they were afraid for their lives and their family lives too. And the other slaves that was there with them, they were scared. They was already conditioned not to fight because they already knew what the slave masters was going to do. So it's totally different from then to now, because now every time you turn around, somebody got a gun on them, and half of them not old enough to even carry guns. And see, back then they had shovels and axes and stuff, but with the slave owners having guns, there was nothing really they could do but take it.
Right.
So you
Okay.
have to bring that across to them and actually break it down to them so they'll understand that even though you may say you wouldn't be a slave, being put back in those days, you really didn't have a choice.
Right. And I like that. And this movie, based on what she just shared, Brother Michael,
Yes.
Never Again, what is the controlling thought? You know, with all the different things I've heard so far, Never Again. What is it conveying? What is the whole intent?
Well, Never Again is basically a takeoff of the Jewish Holocaust. Never Again, that's the term that was what they use. We should use Never Again. Never again will we be conditioned to act in the best interest of someone else. And in the movie, and I don't want to get everyone thinking that the movie's all about slavery. It's a timeline of history. So we go through the Negro Baseball League, Vietnam, all the way up to now, where kids walk around with their pants down, disrespecting their parents. So it's a timeline of history, and it's many parts. College scene, dealing with light skin, dark skin. So Never Again will we allow the conditioning? And mental conditioning is something that you can't see until it reveals itself. You can see the conditioning of alcohol because you can see the bottle. Alcohol is a bottle that, you can say, I'm going to drink anymore. I'm going to put it down and I'm just going to ignore it. But you will go back to that bottle if something happens in your life, a tragic thing, something gets upset because you never had the coping skills and you didn't find out what the reasons that conditioned you to drink. We in our community don't know the conditions, and you see it from light skin, dark skin, long hair, short hair, in-house, out-house. And Angela Kirks was in a scene and she was talking about where, what is it trying to be white? Because I speak correct English, you think I'm trying to be white? That was one of the scenes that she was in. And we've been conditioned throughout, even in Vietnam in 1972. Many soldiers were conditioned because of the way America was in the 70s and 60s, that you weren't going to go in Vietnam and come back a general. That's not how it was. In the 60s, you still had the Klan running around. So when you came back with your uniform, you still couldn't go into a restaurant and sit down with your uniform and eat in the front counter. But you can go overseas and fight for this country, die for this country. But when you come back to this country, you were still put into Jim Crow. So that was something to mentally condition a lot of people. A lot of people accepted that's how it is. They ain't gonna give us nothing, so I'm not gonna fight for anything, and I'm gonna settle for what I got. And that's a form of conditioning that we need to break. And the only way you can break it is to say, never again will I allow someone else to condition me. And I'm going to find out how I've been conditioned from Willie Lynch and other things that have been used in the conditions based on us from lynchings and murders and other things. You turn on the TV now, you see a black man getting shot, running, jogging. You see another one getting shot sitting in her house. All these things further condition your mind, which later you condition someone else. So those are the things that we're talking about with this movie. I'm hoping and praying that it opens a dialogue to the fact that never again will we allow this. And now we've got CRT, and I'm an educator. I teach elementary school. And dealing with that, with critical race theory, we cannot even teach slavery in school because they think we're teaching someone to hate who they are. But it's not about the hating. It's about what really happened. To just ignore that slavery was a product of this country is to ignore the fact that this country was based on what we did to build. We built the White House. We built so many things in this country, but we're not giving credit for any of it. So I'm hoping and praying that this opens up a dialogue because the schools, we're having a hard time trying to get the schools and educators like myself to really teach it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me ask you a question while you're on the screen.
Okay.
Have you considered this type venue? I don't know how much you do with Facebook, but the knowledge you have, and I'm thinking about when I met you and it was the Willie Lynch letter. That was my first introduction to that letter. I've always found you to be a person full of information. And now your information has transformed you into being what I would consider a source or resource. But the type knowledge you have isn't the type of thing you're going to find just anywhere. So when you say you're encouraging them, sometimes people have to see you to know what it is you're committed to. Have you given thought to maybe something along this line?
Well, I'm doing a lot of this, videos, YouTube, and you can go to our YouTube channel $1 at a time productions, and it's ONE dollar. And see a lot of the other interviews that I've done and the cast has done to put the message out there. The movie will be out there on Juneteenth. We encourage people to to dig into it. My Facebook page, Mike Jones. If you can find me in Augusta, Georgia, add me, and I do a lot promoting, boosting the Facebook page. Um, I'm open to suggestions as well. That's why I'm here. We encourage people to reach out to us and let us know how we can get this message across, because it's so important. And our power lies in knowing who we are as African kings and queens.
Right. I like that. I like that. All right. Let's hear from Felicia. If I can get Felicia moved over here.
Saying Farlicia, that's grandma.
Oh, I don't know why Grandma wanted to get on the. Grandma, I spoke to you enough.
We have
Who is this here?
Dorian.
Grandma now.
Dorian is down front.
Is this her?
Yeah. Oh wow. This is the one that's gonna make you cry.
Dorian. Are you that sad of a character that you gonna make me cry? Talk to me, Dorian.
Hi, I'm Dorian. I am Mrs. Peterson. And she has a hot-headed husband and also a 16-year-old son that's trying to run the streets, knowing he's not street-wise at all. And he ended up going to jail. And she's very, very protective of her son, like I am. And she's a praying mother. And it's just like the streets now, young Black men are targeted. And it's just this. I don't know. This movie is so real. It just touches home, because I just lost a nephew to street violence, and Mrs. Peterson is just afraid for her son.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. Question for you. In your role, obviously, it dealt with as you say, the streets. And none of y'all have said this. How significant, and not just a movie, how significant do you think Black on Black crime, as far as education, a need for awareness, is as it represents the community?
Top priority number one. That's barely ever talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, Dorian, we're gonna let my brother go ahead. Talk to me, Gilmore.
Well, the problem is we don't see it as a problem. I mean, we growing up and seeing the things that I see in the neighborhoods that I be in, we make it seem like we have to defend our territory when the territory is just down the street. But you got to realize all of us was put to live together anyway. So down the street, you might be having a problem with your cousin that you don't even know your cousin just because they stay across the street from you. And we don't see that as a problem. We think that, we have to defend it. We have to stand up for whatever these principles are. But if you think about it, we don't even know who created the principles in the first place. How do we know that we're not just still fulfilling that mental slavery thing that was implemented years ago? Think about it. The best way to take over anything is divide and conquer. If you got something that's working against itself, you don't got to do no work. You can sit back and let them destroy themselves. So we've been doing that. And then guess what? If we're destroying ourselves, it makes it easier for somebody else to come take off the top high levels of the people, because guess what? You got the low people fighting themselves. The top ones are trying to reach them, but guess what? Hey, we got one that's getting out of hand. Let's go ahead and get him out the way. He's one of the ones that might actually stop them. For matter of fact, let me be quiet. We just need to be more aware. That's all I'm gonna say.
We're missing that village from years ago.
Yeah.
Period.
Mhm.
That
Okay.
village.
Okay, go ahead and say it again.
You remember the village? It takes a village. We're
Mm-hmm.
missing that nowadays. Because
Takes a
no one
village to
wants
raise
to
a
get
child.
involved. Because the
Yeah.
kids cuss the adults out. You know. And it's sad.
Yeah, man, what
This
you talking
world
about, old man?
pardon?
Be quiet, old lady. Just disrespectful for no reason.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the parents let them get
We're
away
missing
with it.
the praying mothers. The mothers want to, hang with the kids and be their friends. We need real parents now. We just need that
Yeah.
village back.
And one of the problems also is that we want to riot and picket when a white person shoots a black person, but we forgot how many black people shot each other last night in Chicago,
Exactly. So
and how many senseless deaths go on in the black community.
right.
I mean, in this year, and they're saying it's because of the pandemic, because they were shut in, because of this, but the numbers in 2020 and 2021, there were more young black men killed by young black men in America in 2 years than any other year since. But we want to riot and picket and yell and scream when a white person shoots us. But when we shoot each other, it's like it's not even a blip on the radar. I mean,
That's
of
that
course,
mental slavery.
it's not on the news, so we don't hear about it, we don't see about it, and if we don't see about it, we don't care about it. But we've been conditioned, and we're conditioning each other. So it's sad that we got to break this curse. And like she said, it takes a village to raise a child.
I like what you said about break this curse. That's very prophetic statement, because that's literally what it is. And I asked that question very deliberately because, with you being in a position to do the things you're doing, and obviously the impact you're having on the people that are 100% in support of you. And, when you look at movies or scenes or even series, there's so much that can be done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and you're in the right place and obviously have the right people to do it. And that's why I asked you that question, because the truth is, Never Again is a great title, but we got to first get delivered before we can actually profess never again. It's a great movie title, as you say, great reason behind it. But I'm glad to see that you all hear and see the reality of it, because even though you're entertainers and performers, sounds as though I can hear your hearts and is in the right place.
Yeah.
So that makes a world of difference. Is there anybody I haven't called on yet?
I think everyone here has spoken, but there's a couple of things I want. Is Angel and Jacob were two of because the movie is grandma and grandson are basically telling the story, and Jonathan, his great 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 grandfather is slave Jacob, and his great 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 grandmother is slave Mary, and we have both of them on screen here, which is um, Angel and Varian. They are basically the matriarchs of the whole. It's kind of like a Roots type of thing,
Hmm.
and they come together early on to begot everyone in the movie. So everyone is kind of intermingled and everyone played multiple characters throughout the movie.
Right. Lady Antoinette, can you bring Angel on the screen? I can't see the names.
No.
Yes.
Hey,
Hi.
Okay.
Oh,
Now, Angel, you play a very key role
yeah, Slave Mary.
as Slave Mary, and you're playing that role, maybe reading your lines, and when you're preparing yourself for that character. Did you experience anything that maybe moved you to the place I mentioned earlier that isn't about an address, but about a place in your mind, your heart, and your spirit that someplace you weren't or someplace you'll never forget? Did you experience anything of that nature?
oh, definitely. I had to cry, and those tears weren't like I was just thinking about something sad. Like that was not only the tears for what the slaves had to go through, but for the people who go, well, that was like a few years ago. Like that was a long time ago. There's people alive now who went through segregation. The people
Right.
and we still experience discrimination through the system. And the people who say, well, that was a long time ago, people are still affected by that who are alive. So it's so important that people are educated about this, because those tears were not just for that was for the whole Black community.
Right.
And it was, to get in that mindset was difficult, but because of Mike Jones telling us all this information and saying how like awful it was for the slaves to go from just being on the ships and having them laid all on top of each other, which is something I didn't know beforehand. Again, another thing that I learned. And so playing this character helped me get more in touch with that, helped me be more educated, not just having a surface level of information on the topic,
Right.
but going in depth.
Okay. I like that. And I know I can't wait to see the dynamics of how you brought that structure together, because when you look at being in a time frame of slavery and to be that mother or that dad, or communicate what and who they were, I imagine that must have been quite a challenge.
Yes.
Did any of this impact you from that moment forward, though, Angel?
From my day-to-day life?
Right. In other words, after going through this, was there any significant emotional event that's going to stay with you and redefine your character in any way?
Again, probably that scene where I cried. Probably that scene where I cried, because now there's like a emotional connection. There is definitely an emotional connection to our culture and our history, which, not saying I didn't have it before, but it is very more prominent. Thinking about things that I even think, or things that I do, or things that my friends do, that are like, I wonder why we think that. Oh, the mental conditioning.
Right.
It just gives you another level of thought process behind things. So yes, I definitely think about things I say more, and think about things I do and the way I'm perceiving things now than before.
I like your response, and if I gather what you're saying, there were some things there that you've learned. Are those things that someone could have told you and you learned, or was it solely because of the character and the preparation for this role?
because because it was preparation for the role, and I've been doing this for a very long time, like since I was in elementary school. So when I do a role, I'm going all in. Like I'm doing my research. That is me. I'm becoming that person. So definitely because I was becoming Mary, like there's a part of Mary that is still me. So because I became that character, definitely yes, that's something that you can't do. That at least for myself, that I couldn't get a comprehension level of unless I became that character, unless I became Mary. So yes.
Okay. I like that.
Mhm.
Thank you so very much. And actually, as I heard about the Mandingo warrior, which sounded, a little far fetched. So, can you tell me how realistic your role was, Tim? In your mind, you're thinking.
Well, Tim wasn't
I'm
the
thinking
Mandingo.
I'm not the Mandingo warrior. Although I could have played the Mandingo warrior. That would have been me all day long. I have to give it up to
Varian was
Varian,
it.
because Varian did a wonderful job as the Mandingo warrior.
So
It's been
Barry was
Varian
the
on
Mandingo
stage.
warrior.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
But
when you
but
watch Barry in
but
that role,
Tim's role was a slave also that dealt with many slaves fought for their freedom and fought to break away and get away. That was Tim's role. Tim was awesome in that role.
okay, I see Tim got the accent for his role as well, huh?
Well,
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
he
get to
was
use that
awesome.
accent on this particular endeavor. That's on Never Again 2, the sequel.
Oh, y'all already working on that? Oh, he don't know. He doesn't know it yet, huh?
Yeah, he don't know it yet, but it's coming. It's
All
coming.
right,
Speaking into
I like that.
existence.
Well, so where's the Mandingo? Is he here?
Yes, Varian.
Very.
Varian.
Yes, sir.
Now you the Mandingo warrior. Why you the quietest?
That's just me.
All right. So tell me about your role, Varian. When you was playing this role, did it seem like out there? Was it realistic? How did you relate?
I say I was in and out of it. I was trying to become the character, but trying to act as the character. Some of it, seemed real, but like I say, I was more into trying to get the acting part of it.
Right. So as far as that person in that season, was there anything that you took away from your character or your difficulty being that character or whatever that um, stayed with you that you could possibly share with anyone seeing this video that might make a difference in their
Oh
life?
yeah, for sure. Jacob, he was a true warrior, and he stood on who he is, and he didn't allow them to enlist him as a slave. And a lot of times, well, most of the time, we are very fearful, and we are afraid to do things. And Jacob wasn't afraid. He stood on his ground. This is who I am, and you are not going to take who I am from me. And he was at heart with that. And I think that we have to be fearless and come together as a union so we can do more things.
Right. And do you think we need a Jacob today within our communities?
Most definitely, we need a Jacob.
Is that a hard person to find or a hard person? What do you think is more difficult, to find that person or to be that person?
Uh, I say both, but to be that person. because we too comfortable. We just allow things to pass by. It'll be all right, or oh, that's just him. We too afraid to stand up. And like Miss Dorian was saying, we need that village. But everybody has gotten comfortable with allowing whatever to take place. So we need that Jacob and many more Jacobs to stand up. And that's why I respect Mr. Michael for what he's doing and the book he has written. He done put forth the effort to form this union, and he has put forth the effort to get us together. But we not coming together. We not forming that village because we're too comfortable. We're too afraid. We want to do our own thing.
Right. I like your answer because, and I'll just be candid with you all, because that's the type person I am. If I may be transparent here for a moment. When I was looking at doing this interview, I thought it would be more of a challenge because I've known Michael. When I met Michael, I heard him mention the campaign that he was doing. I didn't know about the campaign, but I met him when he had just done his book. I didn't know you was from Augusta, right? Right, Michael?
Yeah.
You also a junior, right?
No.
You're not?
Are you talking about my father, or you talking
right.
about? Well, no. My father has a different name, Calvin Jones. My
Okay.
name is Michael Jones.
Okay, well, I met someone else named Michael, and you all look alike, so that's why I asked that question. But when I met Michael, sometimes you're surrounded by people, and when God gives you a purpose, you could be the wheat among the tares. And until you actually know what it means to be that wheat, you look just like the tares. And I remember when Michael looked just like the tares. But obviously, he has grown to be a mighty wheat among the tares. And if you all understand that parable, you'll really get that. I like where you are, sir. I commend you.
Thank you.
When I met you in Augusta, I was surrounded by some tares. So when you were introduced to me, you were among the tares, but you have definitely risen and established an identity of your own. And I thought this would be a difficult interview because everybody wants to be an actor. Everybody wants to be a singer. Everybody wants to be a producer. And I didn't know how this would go because I told you all I'm a character person. I really believe that at the end of the day, it's not about the role, it's about the individual. And to know that Michael was able to produce something that has touched your lives, that means a lot. And if you all can convey that on screen, you'll get your due recognition. And I love what my sister said. This is the first movie. I do know that that man there is definitely committed. When I saw the way he did his books and his mindset, he was focused, and I'm sure he's still that way. I would hate to be on set with him. He probably micromanaged y'all to death, didn't he?
A little, not too much. Just a little bit.
But that's a good thing because obviously everyone here seems to be willing to learn from you and what you're imparting. But as my brother said earlier, the difference isn't just on the screen, it's within the communities.
Yes.
And I encourage and challenge you all. Obviously, there's something that about this movie that you all that created it saw. And even though people could watch it 100 times, we'll never get it because we wasn't there creating it. We wasn't there to see the bloopers and whatever, but you all were. And as you move forward, if you grow to be famous or whatever the case may be, the things that you have said here today, I hope those are the things that stay with you all. Because in the long run, at the end of the day, It isn't about the movie. It's about the character, and not the character in the movie, the character of the characters. So from what I've seen, I want to commend you all. You all are some powerful characters. So I know this is going to be a powerful movie. And my wife, as you all that were here, we had something that we called an Emmy moment. So I don't know if any of y'all will ever get an Emmy award, but you're going to get an Emmy moment. And an Emmy moment is where we just allow that time for you to speak something, whatever's on your heart, into someone's life. We believe that everything we do is educational, motivational, and inspirational. So we're going to start at the bottom. Oh, no, that's not going to work because people get moved around. I'm going to bring Mother Michael up. And Michael, you make sure everybody get their moment. You take yours and then you just point the person out, and Lady Antoinette will bring them on the screen. So I'm going to start off with you, sir. One moment.
Okay. Well, like I said, I really hope that this movie blesses someone and opens up some minds and opens up a dialogue about knowing what our power is. And our power, like I always say, our power lies in knowing who we are as African people. And we were kings and queens. And once we can begin to love ourselves from all the issues, from light skin, dark skin, long hair, short hair, then we can begin to take care of home first. Once you can take care of your own home, then you can take care of your neighbors. Then we can start dealing with the economic empowerment within the community. Ujamaa and other things can come about in our community, because it does take a village to raise a child. So hopefully you can check us out and keep in touch with us. And I would like to the next person to say something with Dorian James. Come up and say something for us.
You see them, Lady Antoinette? Dorian James.
Okay. I hope this is a powerful movie, and I really, really hope people pay attention and listen, because once again, we need this village back. We need more praying parents. We need that family unity back. Everybody is so separated nowadays. We just need that love. And I just want to thank Michael for giving me the opportunity, after me saying no twice, for believing in me and giving me the opportunity to be a part of this production, because it's great. We have great actors, great chemistry on and off set, and it's going to be a treat. It's going to be a treat for everyone.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And next up is Angela Kirks.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted to speak on the younger generation. I'm really praying that a lot of our younger generation tunes into this movie, because there is so much in history that they are not aware of and don't really seem to care about. And I feel like if they could see some of it in action, maybe it'll touch something in their hearts to give them a better mindset of the world today, like how they are walking around with the pants sagging and stuff, thinking it's so attractive. My opinion is it's not attractive. Like, look presentable and learn something about your culture. Stop all the killing and all the hating and jealousy. I deal with a lot of jealousy in the workplace that I've been dealing with my whole life. So the scene kind of touched basis with me. And I'm so thankful to Michael. And I also wanted to say that one word when you was asking if you could give one word, what would it be for Michael? And I just want to say talented. The brother wears so many hats and he handles them all very well. And Michael, I just want to say thank you so much again for allowing me to be a part of this cast.
All right. Thank you.
And next up is Varian Hunter.
With God living in our life, who is the head of our life, and His Spirit dwells inside of us, I just want to tell somebody, if you don't believe in yourself, everybody you come in contact with will control you. And what I mean by that is you have to know who you are. You have to believe the things that you can do, or else somebody will tell you what you can't do or how you should look. And it's important first to have God in your life and to believe that you are magnificent, that you are brilliant, and that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And I just want to thank Michael again, for giving me the opportunity and for believing in me to play these different characters. I was new to all of this, and for him to believe in me and for me to believe in myself and to put in the work and to put in the action, it's amazing. And I just, want to thank him. And it was fun working with all the cast members. I had a great time and would love to do it all over again.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
Okay, thank you. And next up is funny man Tim Gilmore Jr.
Hey y'all. I'm gonna leave y'all with a few positive motivational concepts. I'll say that. The first one that I've come to love myself, came up with it. It's simple. If somebody, anybody, don't matter who, tell you something out of the blue, tell you to do something, to tell you something out of the blue that will not hurt you in any way, shape, or form. It's okay to analyze it. It's okay to be like, why is this person telling me this? Telling me to do that. You know what? Let me see if it's going to hurt me in any way, shape, or form. Nope, can't hurt me there. Nope, can't hurt me there. You know what? It can't hurt me. No way. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Now, why is that? Because if you analyze something that somebody tells you to do and it can't hurt you in any way, shape, or form, that means it's guaranteed it will help you. What's not guaranteed is how much it will help you. So do you want to be the person that ignored it and didn't get the potentially endless amount of blessings that would have came from listening? Or do you want to be the person that didn't do it and ended up getting hurt because they didn't do it? See, that's the thing. You never know why they're telling you to do something. You never know who it came from. It could be a word from God or from an angel delivered through them to try to help you. But if you shut it down, you miss out on that help. Now, the reason why I say analyze it first, because you got to remember, God speaks, and so does the other one. So you have to test the word to see who it comes from. What it say? Watch and pray. So analyze it and see if it can hurt you. Because if it can hurt you in any way, shape, or form, then that means you don't need to do it. Because it's a possibility you might get hurt. Period. So if it's one way you can get hurt, it's another way, it's multiple ways. So that's when you know it's not of God. And that's when you know to stay away from it. And that has helped me in so many ways because it applies to so many different universal situations. Mm-hmm. So I'll leave y'all with that. And then there's something else I wanted to say. The Bible tells us, love thy neighbor like we love ourselves, right? Or treat someone else as you want to be treated. If we all just followed that simple tactic or policy, things will be a lot better. There would be no more disagreements about little stuff because we'll sit there and be like, you know what, I was mad enough to just fight this guy, but let me try to analyze and see where he's coming from, what he's thinking about, what he's been through, why he reacted that way. And then we might open up and realize that they're no different than us, which is why we should treat them like we treat ourselves, because technically, if you harm the neighbor, you're really harming yourself. What if that neighbor that you didn't had a disagreement with and you didn't said, I ain't never talking to him again, forget them. What if they had the missing ingredient, the missing knowledge that you needed to be able to further yourself in life, but because y'all had one disagreement and because y'all wasn't able to put it aside, turn the other cheek and come together, now you ended up missing out on your blessing simply because of that. See, we never know how things are connected. We never know how things affect each other. All I know is every single situation and possibility that can happen, has happened, will happen, and it's up to us to pick what outcomes we want based on those possible decisions. Similar to the multiverse, if I choose not to talk, I have shifted my timeline to a different multiverse where I didn't talk. So every single decision that we make affects our future, which is part of the multiverse in my theory. So we just got to make sure we stay in line with what God wants us to do.
All right, my brother.
Okay. And next we have Angel Divine.
I forgot what I was supposed to say. We were saying.
My bad.
Oh, okay. So, okay. So for people who are also my age, teenagers, when I started filming, I was 17 at the time, but I hope that they will take the time to not just learn, but to experience it on a deeper level, to really look at things deeper and not just surface level, and to take time to take what you see from the movie, not just the movie, but like you can be scrolling on Instagram and see this is information and then not really be repost and be like, yeah, Black Lives Matter, but don't really like internalize it. And that's what I'm hoping that other people my age will do when they see this movie, or just in a general term, because that's just what society, with what I've seen with even my friends or people I'm mutuals with, just are sheep. They're not thinking, they're just repeating what they say. And I'm just hoping that people my age will open their eyes and really take the information in and to think about it deeper.
Like that.
Okay. And last but not least is Grandma Farlisha.
Okay, well, after playing my role as grandmother in the movie, I really hope that a lot of parents and grandparents take the time out to teach the younger generation what it was like when they were coming through as young adults, and just try and get them aware of where they came from. And then they can actually realize and understand where they are now, and try and make things better in the communities, in the schools, and everything. And for as Mike, I appreciate the chance to be able to play this part. And with the cast, we came in as actors and co-actors, but we left as friends. And I really enjoyed doing this movie with you all, and really ready to get back in front of the camera with y'all. So that's my input and my take from the movie. Thank you.
Amen. All right. So, Lady Antoinette.
Yes.
Okay, can you? Okay, now that got rid of that. Lady Antoinette, we'll give you a moment to speak words of education, motivation, inspiration to the cast.
Okay. All right. I have one question that I've been holding on to. How many of you are actually have taken acting classes before this? No
Looks to
one.
be one.
Okay, so everyone is basically a novice as far as acting. That's great. That's great. That's what I wanted to know. How many of you have actually taken an acting class for this? Um, I would like to just inspire you all and Mr. Jones to continue in what talent God has bestowed upon you. He gives us all talents, and uh, there are some who can create, and then there are those who can take that creation and carry it and bring it to fruition. So I just want to commend everyone, the cast, and I am excited to see this movie. And also, anything, I guess, I don't know if I'm jumping the gun, but anything you need, we are in Augusta a lot. Augusta's like our second home. And so anything you need, that on the rise network and outreach, we're here. And that's all. I just want to commend everybody, and to the viewers who are going to see this, who are looking now and who are going to see this later. Trust in your dreams. Trust in your dreams. Remember to always seek first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness. And those things, your desires, will come to fruition as long as it's God's will. He said in his word also that if you delight yourself in me, I will give you the desires of your heart. But we have to know that those desires have to line up with his will. So that's what I would like to leave with everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
you.
right. Thank you very much. And I would like to leave something with you all as well. Lady Antoinette, can you change positions? Okay. As I listen, Jacob and Mary, key characters in this movie, and their roles, and I haven't seen the movie, but their roles are one that's very unique. Because if we today had any idea of what our past looked like, and this movie gives us a glimpse of what that might be, we would have to be motivated and inspired by it. Two things. There are those who say that they couldn't be a slave. But there's a quote that says, if a man hadn't found something for which he's willing to die, he isn't willing to live. There's a time and a season that we have to go through. And we have to believe that if we were brought to it, we'll get through it. And for those who say they couldn't be slaves, then you should see that those people you thought were weak, they were strong enough that you're standing on their work and their backbones today. So next time you think about that statement, think about the strength it took to endure not only the ride to America, but to exist here. And some of us still carry the weight of that today. And what I want to share with you all is a poem, and it's entitled Ancestral Knowledge. You are not alone. You never have been. It's just that you're always looking out and never within. No, the world won't love you. It never did and never will. See, the world has nothing to offer, but you have everything to give. My child, hope is a lantern. Faith is a light. You must hold on to both of them if you are to survive the night. The world is a dark place. It gets cold sometimes. But look within for the warmth of the light of your mind. Look to me, for I am truly alive and well, just as you were before you were born to live. I am your roots, the seed from which spring family trees. I am in every branch. I am in the bark and in every leaf. I was you before you were,
Mm.
and now you are me. I am your past, just as you are the present for me. We've come here together for those who are yet to be. When my life seemed hopeless, all I could do was look to you. You were my lantern of hope. You gave me strength to endure. So now, my child, it's time we unite as one. See, the race before you is one that only you can run. Be encouraged, my child, as you take the baton. You must be swift and wise, and remember to always look inside. For years I have been silent, but never again. Now that we found each other, let the race begin. Take the baton knowing that I am at your side and that nothing can hold you back when you are on the rise. A word of encouragement, just as those who carried the baton in the past, they didn't uh, physically pass it on to us, but it's in our hands now. And it's what you do with it that matters. My wife asked the question, how many of you all had formalized training? And there was one. But you all played a starring role in the same movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's opportunity. And that's also God. The things that He has predestined you to be and do, this movie, I pray, is only a beginning of it.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
I
Thank you.
encourage you all,
Mm-hmm.
go forward, and whatever it is that you're doing,
that
I
you're
know
doing. I know it,
as it says,
as it
your
says, your
latter
latter
days
days
are going to be
are
better
going to
than
be
your
better than your
present days.
present days.
Peace and
Peace
blessings
and blessings
be unto you
be
all.
unto you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brother Michael, if
Brother
you want
Michael, if you
to
want
tell us
to
how
tell
we
us how
can
we can
reach you all,
reach you
my
all,
wife will
my
type it
wife
on the
will type it
screen.
on the screen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we launched Juneteenth. So we've got about 5 more weeks or 5.5 weeks left. Juneteenth is June 19th, June 20th weekend. So they can go to our YouTube channel, $1 at a Time Productions, and you can see trailers of the movie. You can see interviews. The movie will be streaming. We've got 2 confirmed platforms, and we've got a couple more coming online. Vimeo is one streaming platform, and Black House Channel is another streaming platform. So you can watch us on your cell phone, your tablet, your computer, or your TV. And Black House Channel streams on Apple TV also. So the easiest way is to go to our YouTube channel, and you can see all the available streaming platforms, which is $1 at a Time Productions. Or you can go onto our Facebook group page, which is also $1 at a Time Productions. And that's once again ONE dollar. Or you can give us a call, 706-294-1152. We're based out of Augusta, and we'll love to. We're going to be doing more movies after this, so we love for your encouragement, your blessings, and after 20 years of stage plays, at the end of the stage, on stage, I say many times that when you do all you can to navigate this storm, God will show up in the end and take you the rest of the way. So with that,
Thank
I
you,
would like
sir.
to say thank you so much for allowing us to come on your show today.
It's my pleasure. It is indeed been a blessing. And we're going to go out on something that really means a lot to me. You know, when you think about the rise, you know, God gives us something just like that, $1 at a time. People might say that's a strange production, but they don't know the story behind that $1. So I'm going to ask you all to mute your phones, and Lady Antoinette, can you take us out with "You Gotta Rise"?
Sure.
There I was, sinking to rise no more. Far too far from that peaceful shore. Half in my grave, I could see my tombstone in place. When I heard my master's voice, I could hear him say, "You gotta rise, you gotta rise, you gotta rise, arise, my child. You gotta rise, my child. Oh, you gotta rise, you gotta rise." Driven by the storms of life, enduring so much strife, I had lost my way, even found it hard to pray. As I began to fall, I heard my Savior call. He said, "Arise, arise, my child." He took my despair and gave me light. Now His grace and love shines ever so bright. He said, "Arise, my child, there is work to do." He told me to share my light with you. How precious is that flow that will make you pure as snow. No other help I know. You gotta rise. Oh, you gotta rise. You gotta rise. You gotta rise. Rise, my child. You gotta rise. Rise, my child. Oh, you gotta rise. 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 Rise, my child. Yeah. You gotta rise. Rise, my child. Oh, you gotta rise. 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 Gotta rise. Gotta rise. Rise above, hey, gotta rise. Rise and you gotta rise. Rise from despair. Gotta rise. Rise and you gotta rise. Rise above, you gotta rise. Rise and you gotta rise. You've gotta rise. Gotta rise. You've gotta rise. Gotta rise. Jesus is the way. Gotta rise. The truth and the light. Gotta rise. Just trust in Him. You'll be alright. Gotta rise. Rise, rise. You gotta rise. You gotta rise.
Thank you all again for joining us. And as the song says, you gotta rise. And more importantly, you all have already been allowed the opportunity, and I can't wait to see you demonstrated that you are on the rise. So peace and blessings be unto you all. Any closing remarks, Brother Michael? Hold on a second. Let me get your mic. Okay,
I
go
said
ahead.
I'm just so excited to be here today, and it's a pleasure. I'm hoping you allow us to come back again.
I'm hoping you all will. I want to get that piece that you had mentioned to me because we really didn't have enough time to really talk. But hearing what you all are doing, I do hope that our paths have crossed for a reason. I'm sure there's some things we'll be able to assist each other with as we move forward.
Yes.
All right, then. Well, peace and blessings be unto you all. God
Thank
bless
you.
you.
Thank you.
Well, thank
You
you.
as
Have a
well.
blessed day,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for joining us. We pray that you were blessed by today's topic and that you will join us again on next Wednesday from 6 till 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another broadcast of Rise to Prosperity. Until then, our prayer to you is that above all things, you may prosper and be in health as you rise above your situation or circumstance. Again, thank you. Peace and blessings be unto you.